Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of You Can Have It All. I'm your girl, your host, Leslie T. Mitchell. And so if you are first time viewing us today, we are now family. Y'all are my cousins. That's how we get down over here at You Can Have It All. And so we are so excited about today, y'all. I am so excited about today. Our guest for today, listen, I already told him he is setting the standard. He is setting the precedent. He is a forerunner on You Can Have It All. The first time that we have had a male guest on the show, and so I am so excited about this, y'all. Listen, this gentleman, I was reading his bio. I'm like, wait a minute. This show today gonna bless y'all. Trust me when I tell y'all it's gonna bless y'all. We have today none other than Mr. Dennis Turner. I'm gonna read a little bit of his bio because I want to get it all in there, right? I want y'all to hear who we have on today. And so Dennis Turner is the founder of Turtle Nation Productions. He is also a celebrated, producer of the popular stage play The Boy from the Ditch, which is actually based on his first book, which has the same title, The Boy from the Ditch, and it is a compelling and riveting story of one boy's journey from the poor and dirty ditch of Mississippi to becoming a successful educator, motivational, inspirational speaker, and singer. Yep, you heard me. He a singer, and guess what? I checked out one of his songs, and it is fire, honey. And so he is also his group, Dennis Turner and the Turtle Nation family, is one of gospel's favorite musical families in the music industry, who has performed with some giants in the industry. I mean, they've been on stage with Travis Green, with Hezekiah Walker, Mike Brown, and so you know they are doing their thing. And so I am excited to have him on the show. His testimony, his story is really one that is going to, trust me, touch your heart, but also transform your mind and transform your thinking, right? And I just can't wait for y'all to hear it. So he has some more stuff on here. We're going to get to all of that, but we want to dive on in. And I want you guys to welcome Dennis Turner to the show, to our You Can Have It All family. He's now our cousin too, right? And so we want to welcome him to the show because guess what? He could be doing anything, right? He could be anywhere, but he saw it fit, not robbery, to grace us with his presence today. And so I'm excited and I am actually honored and humbled to have you on. So welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes. So I know this is going to be a loaded question. So once you tell the viewers, right, who's going to be tuning in, once you tell them a little bit, just a little bit about yourself, whatever you decide to share, that's what you share.
Okay. Well, I am a father of three. I'm sorry. My wife's going to give me. I'm a husband, and then I'm a father of three. I am from the state of Mississippi, born, partially raised in Mississippi. I am a singer, songwriter. I've written stage plays, and I am an author. But I'm also an educator. I am a number of things, but most important to me is I'm a child of the King.
Amen. Come on now. Y'all know over here You Can Have It All. We love Jesus.
That's right.
So I told Dennis he gonna be right at home over here.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that I said about it, like you say, you are a child of the God. You're a child of the Most High God, and you're married with 3 kids, and so you have a lot of things going on, as an author, a producer, a songwriter. You have your group, your teaching, your educator. Like, how do you really quickly? How do you handle all of that? Right? How do you handle all of those things?
Oh man, that's a good question. And the honest question is, I don't know. But there is a balance that you must maintain. I take being a father very serious. Given today's climate with kids and youth, and I've been working with youth for a while, it's important that they have a stable father figure and a father presence. So I based everything off whatever God gives me that day. I'm like, God, I have these things I'm trying to accomplish. Please order my steps. Let me know what I need to do first. And so I kind of move in that order. I take care of my home. I like to have family time. I am a family-oriented guy. I believe in praying with my kids. I believe in having worship with them, teaching them the word. But most importantly, it's just that camaraderie that we're building, and we're starting to really learn. Our kids are getting to the age of where they're evolving and transforming from childhood to adolescent, and then from adolescent to young adulthood. We have a 17-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 10. And so the house stays busy.
Yes.
But the good thing is they're so supportive of Dad. They understand that what I'm trying to do. They understand where I came from. And they understand that much is given, much is expected. And so I want to be intentional about the things that I do, and to show my God that I am so appreciative for what He has done for me in my life, that I want to make sure I pour into others.
Wow. I mean, I just love all that what you just said, right? You like I told y'all he was gonna bless you. Yeah, I forgot to tell y'all know I forgot to tell you put on your seatbelts because we're gonna go on the ride. But here's some things that you said. A lot of times, people. For women, I'm big on balance. I'm really big on balance. Those who watch my show, they know I'm really big on balance. But I love your perspective, hearing it from a male's point of view, right? That you also, balance is important. And the things that you said that you do with your kids, praying with them, worshiping with them. And then the other thing, that you said kind of is that, they're on board with that, right? Because they see what their dad is doing, right? They understand. And so one of the things I tell my audience is that, we have to make sure that our families, right, are involved in what we're doing, because a lot of times we're so busy on the grind for the family. We're so busy trying to make it happen for the family that in the process, we sacrifice the family. Right, we sacrifice the very people that we are trying to make this thing happen for. And so I love the fact that you said you have them involved and they are supporting you in that. And so kudos to you. Kudos to you. That's huge for me. Like balance is like huge for me. And so let's talk a little bit about, your story. Let's talk about, your book, The Boy from the Ditch. Just the title alone, I'm like, y'all, I'm getting this book, right? Just from the title alone, it lets you know there's a story there. There's a story there, because the boy from the ditch, who now is, to me, thinking like now you are, the educator, you are the producer, you are the writer, you're all these things now, but you came from a place, right? You came from something that maybe looked different. And so let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay. Well. The book is entitled "The Boy from the Ditch," and the reason why it's entitled that is because where I was born, it made national news in 1985. It was known as a place called Sugar Ditch. It was a place that Reverend Jefferson Jackson and Rainbow Push and a lot of those civil rights activists, they brought attention to that small town, because people were living below poverty, and the community was in such a bad shape. It was such a disdain on not only just the state but the United States. It was so bad that they got so much media attention. It was BET News, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the 60 Minutes did a documentary on it and exposed how people were living. So that's where I started my life. I was born to my parents, and we lived on Sugar Ditch. And so, of course, a lot of changes happened. We were able to move off, but the mentality of that community, it was across the county. And so, moving from there and then able to move to Memphis years later and graduate high school, go off to college and be successful, go to graduate school, and losing my parents in the process of all of this. Um, I decided to just write my story and tell my journey, and so that other people can be blessed and other people can draw strength. Whatever they are going through, whatever circumstances that they're dealing with, they can see someone else has experienced that, and they can say, "Hey, if he did it, so can I." So that's where I got my start.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you said a couple of things. You said, you grew, and I actually saw, I saw the documentary that they did on the area, and I remember seeing it years ago, right? And I watched it again, and it just did something to me, right? And I couldn't even finish watching it.
Wow.
And you said like your mindset, right? So coming from that area, right? How did you what type of mindset did you have, and how did maybe that you had to transform your mindset to now be the person who you are now, seeing where you're coming from, who were the people you were looking up at, or what was your motivation, what was your inspiration, like I want more, there's more for me.
That's interesting, and I'm glad you asked, because here's the caveat. I always thought differently from the community that I came from, even from the conception of a little boy. And I believe what the difference was this. My mom was a 42-year-old lady that had diabetes and had several miscarriages before me. She had also 11 children before me. I'm number 12. What the doctors told her was, "Ma'am, you're not going to be able to carry this child for a term. You're just too sick. And you will probably miscarry." She shared that with me when I was old enough, and she always would remind me that, "Dennis, you are blessed. I prayed over you in my womb. And when I prayed over you in my womb and you was born," she said, "hence you were born, you were the healthiest kid that I ever had."
My God.
So as I was growing up, she reminded me that I was blessed. And I wonder why sometimes I thought differently from my siblings. And sometimes I would talk about things and they would look at me strange, like, "Who do you think you are? Like, who
are you?"
Right. I came out feeling that I'm the head and not the tail.
Come on.
I'm the first and not the last. There's a king that reigns, and he poured into me in the womb of my mother, and he said, "Hey, you shall live. And not only will you live, you will thrive. You will thrive." And I thank God for my mother, a praying mother. Oh my gosh. You can't think of nothing better than a praying mother. And so when she prayed, and she reminds me, to me, I always took it as she reminded me of my destiny.
Yes.
That I was blessed, and I'm here to be a blessing. And so I am trying to walk in my destiny.
Yeah. Ooh, that right there. I'm serious. That touched me because you said, here's the thing. You had a praying mom. Yes. But not only that, your mom, maybe unbeknownst to her or even beknownst to her, she was speaking destiny over you, right? She was prophesying over you, even in the womb, like you said, because we know the word tells us, like, he knew us before we were even formed in our mother's womb, right? He had already predestined you, but she was prophesying over you even at that time. And that's powerful, right? That is powerful, just to have someone like that in your life, right? Because a lot of people don't have that. And you are blessed, right? And to see beyond your circumstances, because sometimes people get so stuck, they only see what they can see, and they're like right there. They get stuck in that, and they can't see beyond that. It always reminds me of the story, in the Bible where God told Abraham, I will give you as far as you can see.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so listen. That's what that was blessed to me, because you were seeing beyond your current circumstances.
Yes.
You were speaking life into yourself when maybe all you saw was death or tragedy. And so where do you think that came from? Like,
well, we both know.
We don't, right?
Yeah, I believe it was God the whole entire time and still is. One of the things that I was mentioning about my siblings is I would talk about some of the things that I plan to do, that I would want to do, and they would look at me as if your dreams are too big for who you are. And I said, well, the problem is I'm not the provider. I'm the recipient. I am talking to the one who will provide, and that is the Most High God. And so, those things, and it wasn't just material things. It was just about life. My word tells me that, that his whole intention for us is to be prosperous and in good health. Okay? Even as thy soul prospers. Listen, my thing is, prosperous mean more than finances.
Yes, come
on.
on.
Health, my emotional health. My physical health. And when you are in that state of health, you can be a blessing to so many others. So, that's where my mindset is. I want to say this. One thing I am so grateful for, and that is 60 minutes. Because I lost my father when I was 3.5 years of age. He passed on. I had older parents. My dad was like 69 when I was born. So,
wait a minute.
I'm telling the book now. I'm telling the book.
Right. Listen, I told y'all got to get this book. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. He was 69 when I was born. And I lost him when I was 3.5. But my mom became ill when I was about 13. So about around 14, we had to move to Memphis, Tennessee, so she can get help. Health care that wasn't provided in Mississippi. And so from age 13 to age 24, her health was on just a decline to the point where she passed away when I was 24. But I've never got a chance. My kids never got a chance to see their grandmother alive. Because by the time I got married, it was way after college.
Right.
My mom had passed away. My wife never met her. And so when I released my book, I was very young when this documentary came out. Very, very, very young. And so I didn't even know it existed. So when I released my book, I got some national attention in Memphis. Local media attention in Memphis, and someone emailed me that clip. So one night I was up and I just opened the clip and I started watching. I was like, oh, this is the sugar story. And first person on the screen when they go to the church is my oldest sister and my 2 nieces. I just fell back like, whoa. And
what?
So yes. And then not only that, they kept shooting and telling the story. And then they get to the church part again. And the camera panned across some people, and then it hit this lady, and it was my mother and my sister, and I just fell to the floor, my mouth open. And after I gathered myself, wiped the tears, I brought my kids around, and I said, I want you to meet your grandmother. And I showed them that video, and so I am so grateful. That film gave me a chance to show my mom to my unborn kids that she never met.
Nobody but God can do something like that.
I know, right?
I mean, like, nobody but God can set that up. And to know years later, you're going to write this book. He already knew he was going to write this book. Somebody going to send you that. Like, God he's so strategic. Like, he just sets everything in motion. And we don't know a lot of, I always tell people, because you do stage plays. And so, you got the behind the scenes people, right?
Exactly.
They doing all the work. And so that's how they doing all the work, right? They making sure, the mics are, connected, the props is ready, like they doing all the work behind the scenes. And that's how I always envision God, is he's always behind the scenes, right? I may not see him, I may not hear him, but he's behind the scenes orchestrating everything to making sure that the stage is set for when it needs to be set.
That's right.
And so that, like when you said that you are blessed. That's a blessing in itself, to be able to have that, right? And to be able to share that with your kids. Like, that just blew, I saw the lady on the beginning. That just blew me away. Like, I had no idea, right? That just blew me away. Man, God will set you. Oh, man. So I know you wrote the book. So then the book also became a stage play. So tell us a little bit, like, how did that transition? How was that transition?
We were promoting the book, and so I ended up talking to a pastor that I went to school with, and he was actually, at the time, he was the pastor of my alma mater, Oakwood University. He was the pastor of that church, and so we were just trying to come up with ways. We were going to promote the book, and he was like, "Man, it'd be nice to do a production." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "I've always wanted to not only take a book from its written pages, but I wanted to put it on screen." I said, "But a stage play would be a step towards that direction." And so I ended up going with someone that he recommended, and it didn't turn out great for me. So I said, "No, you know how it is. Sometimes,
sometimes
you can't delegate everything. Some things it needs to be hands-on from you, especially if you want it right." And so I sat down and I just penned the play, and trying to drop nuggets of some of the things that happen in the book, in the play, and mix it with the times, and of course a little fiction is in there for a little entertainment, but it worked out, and we did the show in 3 different cities, just to try a run. It went well. We performed it at Miles College, and then we did it in Memphis and in Houston. And so we had a good time at it. It was such a blessing. People did not know, especially the younger generation, had no knowledge of that place ever existing. Because once it became national, had gained national attention, they bulldozed it and got rid of it. But to me, it's historic.
Yeah.
It tells a story. People's lives was affected by it. And so, to me, it was a big moment to educate our young people as well. And so that was the idea. And then just trying to get more people to have eyes on the book as well, because the book would tell the whole story.
Wow. Well, listen, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, y'all, because we're gonna dive into a little more with Dennis. I mean, I told y'all this story. I'm just learning more and more as we speak, and I know it is blessing you all. You definitely want to make sure, at the end he's going to give us all his information, but you want to run over to Amazon right now. Just stop right and just run over there and get the book right now. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. Hey everybody, this is your girl Leslie T. Mitchell, and I'm excited to be coming to you today to invite you to be an exclusive member of my new VIP club, You Can Have It All. And so you're probably saying, well, Leslie, what is this mastermind all about? We're going to be talking about equipping you, educating you, and empowering you on how to live your best life now. We're going to be focused on 3 pillars: building, business, and lifestyle. And so in order for you to be a part of this community, all you have to do is click on the link below. See you soon. All right, everyone. So we are back with Mr. Dennis Turner. And so, listen, he has dropped some gems with us, you guys. His story is just so I mean, it's just so hard, right? It's just such a great story just to know where where you came from and where you are and where God is continuing, to take you. And so before we go into your next, right, really quickly, what would you say to someone who may be, experiencing some challenges? They may be going through some adversities, right? They may be came from a similar situation that you came from. Like, what would you say to them to help them to push forward, right?
I would say this: if you haven't prayed, just taking the time to talk to God, just take a moment to do so. Even if you distrust, even if you don't believe, test, pray. I think prayer is a strength, but develop the mindset that today is my present circumstances, but tomorrow will be different. You want to live to get to tomorrow. So you got to do what you have to do in today. Whatever you're doing, do not ever get defeated. Understand that losses or let down or temporary, they're there as building blocks. Okay? Take the time if you need to, if you're sad or if you get down. If you have to weep, let the tears wash away the pain. But once you finish, wipe your eyes, stand up. You are a child of the King. Never give up, and no matter what, never quit.
Ooh, that's good. Listen, give yourself some grace. Like you said, give yourself some grace, right?
Yes.
But now get on back up.
Yes.
Get back up. And a lot of times people get stuck in that thing. People get stuck in that thing. And don't know how to get up. And the one thing I love you said, even if you distrust or you don't believe, just test God. Just pray.
Yeah.
Just pray.
Wow. I learned that at a very early age. So I'm telling a little bit more in my book. There was times when my pops had passed away, my dad had died. We really struggled. There was times she would tell us, I don't know what we're eating today. We don't have any money, and I don't have anything. But we need to. We're gonna pray. Now, me being the youngest out of all, I'm just watching because I know I'm old enough to walk in there and see there was nothing in the covers in the refrigerator. But she would pray, and before the day is over, some of her friends or people that know her will come through and say, "Sister Victoria, you was just on my mind today." And I just thought I would come by and bless you. And they would bring bags of food and groceries. They would hand her some money, and I would see this. I stuck very closely with my mom when my dad died because that separation. I used to wake up every morning just drinking coffee with my dad. And she was like fussing at him. Right. And so when he passed away, I'm only 3 and a half. One parent you telling me is gone, so I am holding on to that other parent. And I wouldn't let her out my slice sometimes. And so I would hear conversations, and I would see things, and I'm like, wow. And she tells us there's no food. But when she prayed, before the end of the day, people would bring groceries. I learned at a very early age that prayer changes things.
Yeah. You are witnessing the manifestations of the prayers.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Man.
And it grows your faith.
I can only imagine that had to be as a child, right? Hearing your mother pray, praying with her, and then bam, here go God showing up. That had to have impacted you beyond, yeah, man, that's powerful. That was a blessing because you witnessing the manifestation.
Oh yes.
So prayer works. So when you told the people to pray, y'all, he witnessed it. He'll live in testimony.
I saw it firsthand.
Experienced it firsthand. Oh, I told y'all this was gonna be good. So, so we talked about the book, but I know you also, are also you're a singer, you're a writer, you're a producer. So let's transition a little bit into your music. Right? How did that come about? How did all that come about?
Well, I've always liked to sing. My mom was a singer. So they used to call her the Mahalia of the South.
Mm.
She used to
She
travel
could
with
sing then. She could
yeah.
sing.
She used to travel with preachers, and they would request her and take her with them to go and sing before they preached all throughout the South. And so that was in me earlier. Even though it went dormant for a minute when I was trying to make my way through, but it came full circle when the book came out, and I had a singing group at the time. We were just doing cover songs and stuff, but when the play was coming about, it was like we need music, and so it just hit me. The Holy Spirit was like, it's time, and I just started penning songs based on the messaging that we were trying to send. So that's how I started. But it has evolved now. I find it therapeutic sometimes to just write about my experiences and my pain. It helps me. I got a song on this latest album, and it's entitled Social Media. When I was young, I'm talking about the book now, I was in the third grade, I was bullied. And it was just not me, it was the entire class. There was a horrible things that was going on in that class, and it took a year before it was found out. So as I got older, I found myself still dealing with some of those traumas that I had when I was 8. So I'm working. I'm a grown man. I'm working. And you have this new generation of kids there. They were taking photos of teachers, posting them online, saying different things about them, trolling them as they want to call it, whatever.
Right.
But so it was about social media, and so it started going around the school, and I spoke with the principal. I was trying to get some things done, try to get it handled, but it seemed like the district didn't really want to deal with it, and I was so frustrated, and I just sat down and I penned a song called Social Media, and it just blessed me. And I used that as a platform, even at the school I was at, to talk to the kids, to let them know, hey, words mean something. We have the power of life and death in our tongue.
Yes.
Let's be careful how we use it.
Yes. That is so true. And people, the thing about it, people really don't realize that.
Yeah.
They really don't realize that, we have the power of death and life. And everything that we speak, I can't remember where it is in the Bible right now, but everything that we speak is being recorded.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have an account for that, right? So it's been written down. So we have to be so careful about the things that we say out of our mouths. We say it out of our mouths. And so I know you have two albums, right? You have 2 albums?
3.
Oh, you have 3. Okay.
The first album is entitled Faith. And that's my baby, because that was my first album.
Okay.
I penned the entire album. God's blessed me to work with a very, very gifted, talented producer named Chris Carter out of Memphis, Tennessee. And we together, it just, God blesses what we do. The second album is entitled I Press. That one's it's based on experience, and I want people to know that we have to keep pressing on. And no matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, we got to keep pressing. And then the third one came about is a testimony album. It's entitled Why We Sing. And that was once music was out, people were listening, and sometimes people become critical, and they was like, oh well, you would do better if you just get this person to sing, and you do this, you do that. And I said, well, the Spirit of the Lord just told me, say, let them know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write a song. This is the reason why I sing. It's not for fame or fortune, but I sing for the King.
Yes.
And so That album is called Why We Sing.
Why We Sing. I love the names. Faith, I Press, and Why I Sing. I mean, like they and when you hear the titles, right? I can, somehow like faith is about about your faith and what and then like you said, pressing through, never giving up, never giving in, keep going. And here's why I do this all.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Here's why, man. Look how see nobody but God. Listen. And quick question, really quickly for people: how do you stay? How do you stay doing the things that God? Because you just said at the end, right? People always they want you to do what they want you to do, right? And a lot of times people struggle with that. There was a season in my life where people have so many expectations of what you should be doing.
Right.
And there was a season in my life where I went through that and I had to just shut everything down. Like there's too much going on, right? Yes, I need to hear from the main source. I need to make sure I'm in tune to what he has me doing and what y'all think I should be doing, right? And so what would you say to someone watching who is dealing with that? Like a lot of times you're under that pressure, right? And you may be doing things, you think you're doing the right thing, but it could be in the wrong thing. Like how do you stay tuned into hearing the one true voice, right? And to block out all the other voices. How did you do that, or how would you say someone should do that? Be able to do that?
Well, we have to look at what it is that they're trying to get you to do, the motivation behind it. Most action has something that moves you to action, and the question you want to ask yourself is, what is that that's moving me to this action? Oh, you should be doing this. Then what is it? Because a lot of times we find out we're doing this because we want to make more money. We're doing this because we want a higher position. We're doing this because we want to be this title. And so all those things are self-exaltation. It's all about us. And I'm like, that's not how my God. The first and foremost thing is He wants us to be safe.
Yes.
Okay. That's first. Second of all, I stay grounded because you gotta sometimes block out the noise. You gotta get you some still away time, quiet time, meditate, talk to God, and then just wait. Just let Him respond. That's what I would say, because a lot of times we get ahead. I'm about to get into the book a little bit. Okay. So I am a divorced he, as some people say. I got married when I was too young. I was in my 20s. Just as my mom told me, I was a blessing. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was grieving my mom's death. My family, my siblings, were not a close-knit unit, kind of scattered and not coming together. And so, in my mind, I want to fix me. I'm going to fix my problem. I just say, I'm going to have a family. I'm just going to create me a family. And so, I'm going to marry the first person right. Spirit of as loud as I'm talking to you now, the Holy Spirit said, do not do this. You're stepping in front of me. Wait. And I was like, no, everything could be better. I just make my own family. And I'm talking myself into doing the wrong thing. And needless to say, it was a disaster. But I'm so grateful because He serve a God that does not give up on us.
Yeah.
We do believe in second chances.
Yes.
And when I got that opportunity, I told Him, never again would I sidestep you, go before you. I will wait for you. And when I did, I met the most wonderful, beautiful woman I ever could meet. And we have been blissful in happiness ever since. And I thank God that He can restore. So some people, I can tell you right now, they have made mistakes. They have made mistakes. We all have. We're human. Understand that you're human. But do this. Take a step. ask for forgiveness, and then ask for guidance,
Yeah.
and wait for Him. And when you do that, watch Him lead you to the promised land.
Ooh, listen. I hope y'all caught that. That he was dropping some gems, right? And like you said, we all get ahead of ourselves. We human. We gonna make mistakes. But the things that he said, right? Take a moment, ask for forgiveness, repent, ask for guidance, and then just wait. And just wait. And the thing that I love that you said at the end, because he's gonna lead you to the promised land.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh, that blessed me. Listen, if it didn't bless y'all watching, it blessed me. And so, as we begin to wrap up, so tell us what's next for Dennis. Like what you have coming up. What's next for you?
Well, I've been working on a doctorate degree, so I'm actually finishing up my dissertation as we speak. I should be done by the summer. So I'll be graduating. I'll be a double doctor, Dennis Turner. Also, my son and I are linking up with two of my friends, and under my gospel label, we're going to release a all males group coming this fall. And then Dennis Turner International Family will return to the studio at the end of the year, and we'll work on our new project. It's going to be a Christmas project as well. We are also, I am also, I should say, working, getting ready to start my second book. And my second book is going to be dealing with young men. It's entitled Fatherless Fathers. And the reason why I want to deal with that is because a lot of young men are growing up without their father.
Mm-hmm.
And we need some guidance because those same young men are becoming fathers. And they have nothing to go on. Nothing.
When I tell you, I know that book, that's truly needed. I'm serious. Like, and it is going to be a bestseller. Because that book will be a bestseller. Because a lot of times, really quickly as we wrap up, but that this is dropped. A lot of times as women, when we are married to men who may have not had a father, not have grown up as a father, our expectations are things that we think they should know. And I just was having this conversation with a good friend of mine around the same thing. I said, you cannot expect your husband to be the father that he never had.
You said something. Woo. That's it.
Literally, you cannot expect him to be the father that he never had. So that's why I know that book, that's gonna be a bestseller. You're gonna have to go on tour for that. I'm serious, because listen, for women and for men, because a lot of times, like again, women, we have these, especially for women, for those women of us who have grown up in a household with our fathers, right? I grew up in a household with both of my parents. Both of my parents are still living, so I saw my father. I saw what a father should be, right? And so when you have the different dynamics, right, where one had one and one does not, in marriages. Right, in relationships, not just even relationships, that can cause a little disconnect. Right, it's a disconnect, and the expectation levels are not correct, and so it causes all kind of other issues in relationships because we don't realize I can only give you from the perspective that I have been given.
There you go.
So that's why I'm speaking that book.
Well, I am excited because I received that too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that. Yes, you're gonna be back on for that book. You're going on tour with that book. You need to have conferences with that book.
Sure.
Because that right there is that's so needed.
It's needed. I've been teaching for 20-some years, and I've seen young men and young women I've seen from both perspectives. I've seen young women growing up without their fathers, not knowing how to deal with their opposite sex,
Yes.
and I've seen young men grow up without their father, having not a clue to who they are. Real quick, one thing that for me that got me when my wife did a DNA test on me because she knew I lost my parents early, and it gave me some clarity on where I came from. Everything started to line up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I found out I'm from royalty. I'm linked to one of the Egypt kings, and King Ramsey, and I'm like, I'm looking at my DNA, and I'm like, it gives me history. It told me where my parents came from when they came over to America. It did the whole thing to where they came from, and it gave me a sense of identity.
Mm-hmm.
So no longer did I have to
Wonder,
create an image of what my father was, or who he was, or where he came from. I knew, and once I knew, my confidence level shot through the roof.
Oh,
Because I know who I am.
come on!
A child of the king.
The child of the king. Come on, listen, because you started out saying you a child of the king. You are a king.
Yes.
You from royal priesthood.
Yes.
Man, listen, I told y'all you can have it all, you can have it all family, that this right here, this interview was, I just had a feeling, I just knew in my spirit, this interview was going to bless our souls. And Dennis is our first male, and so he has knocked it out the park. He has knocked it out the park. I am so thankful and just honored to have you on with us today. And so really quickly, tell the people how they can connect with you, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Sure. You can connect with me on Facebook at Dennis Turner and Turner Nation Family, or either the Boy from the Ditch Facebook. Also, Instagram is Turtle Nation 32. That's my Instagram handle. You can visit my site and check out all the things that we have going on, and that is turtlenationministries.com.
Wow. Thank you again, Mr. Dennis. Thank you so much for gracing us. I mean, I'm so excited about what God is going to do in your life. And I just see big things and great things. And so, again, thank you for coming on to another episode, another edition of You Can Have It All, where we believe that you can have exactly the life that God has designed and destined you to have. The question is, do you believe it? All right, good people. God bless y'all. Until next time, I'm your girl, Leslie T. Mitchell. And y'all know how I do it. It's on the deuces.